Hey, 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 everybody. Let me make sure everything's connected well. Looks like everything's good. I just wanted to hop on here because um, it's just been heavy on me for the last couple days to just share this, just come on, just for a little chat with me. So this is not Bible study. This is just chatting with me. Um, And hey, if you're new here, I'm Brittany. I'm with Wives of Zion, and I wanted to come on here because Wives of Zion is 2 years old. We are two. Yay. Um, it's been 2 years since this ministry started, and um, wow. I know the last time I did one of these chat with me's, it was my 2 year anniversary of leaving my corporate job. Um, and now we're at 2 years with WOZ, and it's just so I just wanted to come on here because I felt really strongly that a lot of people um that may come across this are being called into ministry or have started or are already I can't even speak, are already in ministry, or God is calling them to do whatever it is he's calling them to do, because of course we know that ministry is not just, a church. It's not just Bible studies. It's not just these prophetic words that you see on YouTube. It's not just those things, but ministry is being a mother, your children. Ministry is just serving God, is what ministering is. And we should be serving God in all things that we do. So whether that's your business, whether that's in the house, if you're a housewife, house husband, um, that's ministry. Everything that you do should be ministry and should be serving unto God. Um, and as you know, WOZ is two. Um, I was called to start this 2 years ago, and I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about that really quick, because I think it's just important. I know for a lot of people that I have talked to recently in one-on-ones, or um, just some amazing women that I have come across, where sometimes we tend to feel like we have to wait for certain circumstances or certain things to align or look a certain way before we can move forward in the things that God has called us to do, or has um, just placed on our hearts to do. And we feel like it should look a certain way. And so we're waiting for something to manifest in the natural for us to let us know, okay, it's time to start that business. It's time to start that group, that prayer ministry. It's time to start whatever God has placed on you. Do that clothing line. It's time to start whatever it is that God has placed on you to start or to do. And but it's God is really waiting for us to make the move in faith and to step out on faith and to just go ahead and get started. So, whoever this resonates with, it's time for you to start the ministry. You just got to start. You just got to start. Um, the Lord spoke to me 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago actually now, and said, if you build it, they will come. He said, if you build it, they will come. And at the time, I had never heard that phrase before. Didn't realize it was, associated with a movie called Field of Dreams. So I'm like, if they build it, they will come. Okay. Or if you build it, they will come. But, God is saying, we just have to step out and do the thing that He's telling us to do in faith, and He will send the people. So wise, we're two. I started with just meeting on Zoom with two girlfriends at the time. He gave me the name Wives of Zion. When I asked, okay, if this is what you want me to do, what is he said, Wives of Zion. So I called it Wives of Zion. At first, I thought it was going to be more related to marriages, but the Lord started to just download to me that Wives of Zion is more than just for women that are married. Wives of Zion is for um, any woman who um, is is following Christ. It's about being a bride of the bridegroom, um, and the bridegroom is Jesus. It's about him being in relationship and covenant with the Lord, just like you would in a marriage. It's about being part of, his holy city, and that's what Zion represents. And um, over this past 2 years of doing this, I've learned so much. Um, you know, I never in a million years thought I would be doing this. I never had an unction or ever dreamed about being in ministry. I never, okay, never. Um, and but this is, what the Lord has called me to do, at least for now. And I've seen it grow in so many different ways, and Him just bless it, just from walking in obedience, and not even really understanding fully at the time what I was doing, just knowing that I was doing what He was calling me to do, and to just see and to be here at 2 years now, and to be able to look back on the last 2 years and just see how it started with, just me and a couple of my friends at the time on Zoom, and how now he has me on YouTube doing Bible studies live. And so I just want to encourage whoever needed to hear this, that just go ahead, do what you need to do. Go ahead and start that thing, start that ministry, girl, start that ministry. Um, there's somebody out there he is waiting on you to start to do those things that God has put in you to do. There's people out there that have been praying for what He's given you, the gifts that He's put into you, and what He's tasked you to do. There's people out there waiting for you. So just go ahead, just do it. Don't pay attention to the numbers. Don't look at, well, I only have a couple people, or I don't have enough this, or I don't have the building and the storefront that I would like to have in order to um, just do that thing. I don't have, like, my circumstances are not looking the way that I envision it to look in order to do it. Um, and God just needs your yes. He just needs you to do it, and He will bring the people. He will put it in front. He will give you the words to speak. He will send it to the people who need to see it. Send it to. Um, he will do it. So just stay encouraged. I just wanted to share that with you guys. But we are two, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I said I started with, two friends on Zoom. There was times where, um, nobody could get on the Zoom, and I still did the Zoom, because I just wanted to stay faithful to what He called me to do. And so I would meet, and I would sit there, and I had to continue to do the Bible study, just looking at myself. And I was uncomfortable. I was like, Lord, what are we even doing here? Why am I even here? Why am I doing this? I don't even know what I'm doing. I didn't go to theology school, or, none of that. I don't know. I'm just, I don't know, Lord. I don't know the right language and lingo and how things work in this. I don't know any of this. I'm coming in straight green. And but I would just continue and do it. And recorded it. I recorded it. I would send it to them when they couldn't get on, and just kept being faithful with it. And then He added the more. Next thing you know, I remember it was like two people for, I don't even know how long. how long, Lord? Like maybe like 6 months or something like that, maybe even longer than that. It was just the three of us on there. And then all of a sudden, um, two other people came on. And I remember like, oh my gosh, Lord, like I don't know how to do this. I don't, now it's four of us, now it's five of us. Now, you know, one time it was like 11, 12 of us. And I'm like, what is going on? Mind you, I at the time I started Wise, I had just moved to a place where I knew nobody here. Nobody. I knew nobody. I wasn't in communication with any like friends from before I moved. The Lord had kind of removed me from all those things. So I really wasn't talking to anyone except for those two friends that I started Wise with at the time, or that was on Wise at the time. And but it was just a matter of staying faithful with that assignment in that season. And I never in a million years thought that I was actually being trained for even getting on YouTube. Because once he dropped YouTube, it was like, well, Lord, I don't know how to do that. I never, I don't know how to talk to myself on YouTube or make videos or edit or do any of these things. And it's like, girl, you've been doing it for some months now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so, um, just go and do the thing. Well, I mean, we look in scripture, we see where when Moses was being called, in Exodus, he was being called to his assignment, and God was speaking to him, and Moses was telling the Lord, like, I don't have eloquent speech, or I don't have the words. I don't know how to do the thing you're saying that I need to go do. Use somebody else. You got the wrong person. And God is, and I'm paraphrasing all this, God is like, no, I got you. You're the person I made for this. But the Lord tells him, and I think it's in, hold on, let me pull this up because it's in Exodus chapter 4, verse 12 in the Amplified. He says, now then go, and even I will be with your mouth and will teach you what you shall say. Um, and he didn't say, I'm going to tell you everything up front and then you go. I'm going to make sure all the circumstances align for you, for that clothing business to take off. I'm going to make sure you have all the resources, all the money, the storefront. You have the following on any of your social medias. I'm going to make sure you have all those things first, and then you can go ahead and do the clothing line. No, it's go and do it. Go now, do it. Now then go is what it says. And I will be with you. I will be with your mouth. As you're doing it, I will be giving you more. As you're doing it, I will be providing the resources here and there as you're doing it. And so we just have to do the thing. And like I said, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years of, not knowing. I mean, honestly, half the time, not even knowing, okay, I don't know what you're doing with this, but I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing it. It's been 2 years of feeling, sometimes it seems like nothing's happening, or, is anybody even um, getting the teachings? Is there any fruit in this? We've been talking about fruit. Is there any fruit in what I'm doing? But it's, as you're doing and as you keep going, then it's like a suddenly you just see, wow, like all of a sudden, you go from, not having the ability, or feeling like you don't have the ability to do whatever, and you don't, because he doesn't want you to do it in your own strength. God wants to be the one to do it. So you're not going to feel like you have the ability. You're not going to feel like you have all the resources. You're not going to feel like, um, you're not even, I mean, half the time you're going to not even know what's going on, or how can this even work? How is this going to be providing a living for me? How am I, any of that? And God is going to do it all. So, again, this has been 2 years. I'm just amazed at how much God has developed WOZ to this point. It's and I know he has more in store, and I am just here for the ride because I don't know half of what he's doing. But what I do know is that, if you just continue to just be faithful, even with what seems like a little thing, and you just keep with that, and you just stick to whatever assignment, whatever God's given you to do, that he will make it grow, he will flourish it, and you'll be able to stand back and look and see that of all the stuff that you've done. The first year, with WAS, again, it was a lot of it was just Bible studies on Zoom. There was a lot of times where I cried before even getting on camera or getting on Zoom. With the girls at the time, was like so self-doubting myself. Felt like I wasn't worthy, or that I could just didn't, like, why are you using me to do this? Why do I have to say it? Like, it was just a lot of those things. It was a lot of times, again, teaching even to myself sometimes, if people didn't get on, but still staying faithful for what he gave me. That was a lot of the first year. And towards the end of the first year, I started to see where people were starting to get on the Zoom who I didn't know. I started it off with two people who I knew, but then it was okay. Now there's strangers basically on here that I'm teaching to, and they're receptive. I see that they're receiving what I'm teaching, and they're implementing things, and they're seeing change, and they're giving me encouragement to keep going. Then, last year, 2024, we started with he had me to get on YouTube, and I don't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. And I was on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, it was only like four people watching. And there was probably me, Vic, my mama, like my dad. Like, it was probably we were probably the four, um, to now even having people that subscribe, and then people that are engaged. And um, last year was just so many things God added to our ministries that, I mean, just blew us away. And a lot of it was off camera, just different things, different relationships, connections, calling us to pray for certain people. We got to see a lot of different breakthroughs for people happen last year, of people that, he had us particularly pray for. Um, just a lot of different things where he was just expanding us, started having us doing one-on-ones with people. And I'm like, well, what one-on-ones? What, I have nothing to tell them. What do you want me to tell them? I don't know. And it's like, putting it in people's heart to reach out to me for, well, the Lord wanted me to connect with you about X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking around too, like, well, Lord, you ain't telling me what you want me to say. Um, what am I supposed to do? I have, feeling like I had no knowledge or nothing to gain or to give. Um, and but I did, he did. He just needed my yes. He just needed my availability to pour out through me. He just needed the vessel. Um, so I say all that for encouragement for you. Like, you have to go and start the thing, start the ministry, go do it. It doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to be um, glamorous like some of these things we see. Even if it's a YouTube, even if he's telling you to start a YouTube, you don't need no fancy lighting and all that stuff that you see other people doing. You don't need anything. All you need is God. He will handle the rest. He will take the message where it needs to go. He will bring the people. He will do all the things. So you just need him. If you build it, they will come, but you have to build it. And there's a time, there's a process. It's going to be uncomfortable sometimes. It may not look the way, again, that you foresee it looking like, or you would like for things to align before you do it. A lot of times it doesn't do that. It's not that way, or at least it has not been that way for me. We had to start throughout our ministry now, throughout these 2 years, for me and for Vic, because we both started our these ministries and our ministry basically together because we're one, right? Our ministry in January of 2023. And since that time, there's been a lot of stuff that we um, had to go through personally. There was a lot of physical challenges. There was a lot of times where, we didn't know, like, I mean, we were just seeking and contending for just personal breakthrough in different areas. There's a lot of times we had to move, we had to relocate, and we had to continue to steward the ministries that God gifted us with and put in our hands to manage. We had to still meet with people when we didn't we were or technically we were homeless. We didn't have a place of our own, but we had to continue to meet. So we're doing Zooms on the bed. The kids have to go in in the living room. So one parent's with the kids while the other one's doing the Zoom in the bed, and then we switch off, when he has to do a call. I make sure, I'm taking care of the kids in a separate room so he has space because we don't have an office or anything like that. We're all sharing one space. So we've had to make things and work around different challenges. There was a time where we had to go to the library and do our recordings and teachings and Zooms. And even going to the library, we had to make sure when we were at the library that um, the quiet room, they had quiet rooms in there you can go in, was available. It's first come, first serve. So sometimes we have to stay there, for a while until someone leaves the booth so we can go in there. Um, we've had to, I know you guys have seen some videos, especially on my channel, some of the older videos when I was in my car at the time. So we had to be in a car. We had to deal with not having a vehicle. So it's just, I bring those up only as examples of don't let anything in the natural, any physical challenges make you feel like you can't continue on with whatever God is putting on you to do. If He is bringing you to do it, He will bring you through it, and there is a way for you to do it, even with what may feel like a lack of resources or limited resources. He will still do it, and it's in all of those things and all that time throughout these 2 years that He has increased our ministries. He's given us more responsibility. He's putting more in our hands now because we've been able to be faithful with those things and all those different, physical challenges and emotional challenges, spiritual all the stuff. We still kept going. And so I just want you to know that you can do it. God will put the words in your mouth. He will give you the things. He will put the right people in place with you. He will bring you to the right thing. But you have to keep moving. You have to keep walking. You have to seek. You have to keep going. You cannot stop. You can't just sit back and wait for the perfect circumstances to arise. If he's saying go, you just got to go. And as you're going, he'll give you the next step, and then he'll give you the next step, and then he'll give you the next step, and then he'll give you the next step. But there's people waiting for you. There's people that need whatever you are to provide. Um, and the longer that you wait or you delay, the longer that they will wait or delay, or God will just have to raise somebody else up to do it, because it's going to get done. His word does not come back to him void. He will make sure what he is trying to accomplish will get accomplished. So it's just a matter of, are you going to partner with him and let him do it with you? So that is basically what the story of Wives of Zion to this point. It's still in production. We're still going. We're still continuing to go. You know, not fully having a full picture of what God is wanting to do, but just knowing that He's wanting to do more in this season, this year. And as I sit back and I just reflect on the last 2 years and how much he's grown me through these last 2 years, and um, within this ministry, and how blessed, I've been throughout this whole thing as well. I just don't even know what he has in store for us going into our third year. So, yeah, again, it's happy anniversary to Liza Zion. Happy birthday, whatever we want to call it. And for you, if ministry is something he's placed on you, and again, ministry can be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be getting on YouTube or on a social media platform. It doesn't have to be teaching or preaching or whatever God is, it doesn't have to be those things. It could be homeschool. God has had me homeschool this year too. So, and that's ministry too, discipling my children. That's ministry. So, all these different things that he is placing on us to do, we just have to do it. Um, that even brings me to with homeschool, just another example for y'all. Like, we started homeschooling in August of 2024. We never homeschooled before, but this is what the Lord had placed on us to do since it's probably around almost a year ago. So around the spring of 2024, um, he was speaking to us about homeschooling the kids. So we started to homeschool in August, but we ain't got no home. So, you know, I can't let my physical circumstances hinder or delay or block or barricade me, or whatever words we want to use, basically restrain me from continuing to do what God has told me to do. He wants us to homeschool our children. We were to take them out of public school. And I can't, now how am I supposed to homeschool, Lord? I ain't got no home. Because homeschool, you're supposed to school at home, but I ain't got no home. But he has me in a home, but it ain't my home. Anyway, y'all know what I'm trying to say. The point is, is that, we've had to work with what we got, so we've been doing homeschool with the resources we had in the places that we're at. If we're being moved, if we're traveling through, if we're sojourning here, whatever, I can't let that stop the homeschool. I got to teach my kids. So, it's being flexible, not limiting God, not having him in a box of what things should look like, what this ministry should look like, um, or any of that, anything. It's just about flowing with him. It's just about flowing with him. Um, so start that ministry, do it now. Happy birthday, Wise. We're two. Sorry, we're two. We're two. Um, And I'm excited for what he's going to do this year in 2025 through Wives of Zion. And yeah, I'm excited. Wives of Zion is not just, again, it's not just for the wives, it's for the daughters of the Lord. If you're the daughter of the King, if you are married to Jesus, you're in covenant with him, you want to build a relationship with him and get closer to him, this is all what Wives of Zion represents. It's about identity in Christ. It's about our identity as wives of Zion, our identity in Christ. And um, I'm just excited. I'm just excited for what he's going to do. So I just want to come on here really quick because somebody needed to hear that. Start that ministry, girl. Um, just do it. Just do it. So I love you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Sharpen Your Sword at 5 o'clock live Central Time on YouTube. All right. Bye, y'all.